Welcome aboard. My name is Sharia, and you're listening to a brand new episode of the Aviation Files, the best podcast for all aviation enthusiasts. Today we will discuss JetBlue planning to add more legroom, China Southern suffering a tailstrike, Air France proposing a new lounge at Newark Airport, and Etihad expanding its North American market. So without further ado, let's begin. I would also like to apologize for my prolonged absence. A lot of things have been a bit hectic and busy, but I'm back now and I can't wait to get back to reporting aviation news for all of you. So, let's get to it. JetBlue, in conjunction with releasing its Q3 financial results, has announced a significant revamp of its quote-unquote even more space seating option, a premium economy product offering more legroom and early boarding privileges. This move, as a part of JetBlue's larger Jet Forward initiative, reflects the airline's efforts to increase revenue from premium products by providing enhanced amenities that improve customer experience and draw more high-value travelers. By rebranding the seats to quote-unquote even more in 2025, JetBlue will add new benefits while retaining the existing features, aiming to elevate the product's appeal within the premium leisure segment. In mid-November, JetBlue will make even more space seats more prominent in the booking process by allowing customers to select these seats directly on the seat map during reservation. JetBlue's Jet Forward strategy, launched in July, serves as a framework to drive the airline back towards sustained profitability. The four pillars of the strategy include enhancing service reliability, expanding its East Coast leisure network, adding value to its product offerings, and cutting costs. The airline's leadership expects these moves to yield $800 to $900 million in incremental EBIT gains from 2025 to 2027. Financially, JetBlue showed signs of improvement in Q3, achieving its targets and reducing operating expenses by 4.2% year-on-year, with overall costs at $2.4 billion. However, with operating revenue only slightly up by 0.5%, JetBlue posted a modest operating loss of $11 million and a net loss of $60 million, a notable improvement from its $153 million net loss during the same quarter last year. The airline benefited from a 16.8% reduction in fuel expenses, spending $584 million as it retired older aircraft such as the Airbus A320ceo and Embraer E190s to reduce fuel consumption and optimize fleet efficiency. The airline's operational improvements include a 12-point increase in on-time performance and a reconfiguration of 20% of its network year-to-date, targeting leisure-heavy routes in the Northeast. Additionally, JetBlue raised $3.2 billion to manage existing debt, fund capital expenditures for 2024 and 2025, and further invest in Jet Forward objectives. This funding supports upgrades to JetBlue's reliability and network and enables product and service enhancements such as new lounges and co-branded credit cards. Looking at fleet expansion, JetBlue now operates 38 A220-300s with plans to receive 20 additional A220-300 aircraft each in 2025 and 2026. The airline will scale back its A321neo deliveries, reducing 2025 orders to 4 aircraft and suspending deliveries in subsequent years. This strategic scaling supports JetBlue's transition toward an updated fleet composition that aligns with its focus on cost efficiency and improving passenger experience. For Q4, JetBlue anticipates positive trends through unit revenue growth, though unit revenue growth may be tempered by Hurricane Milton's impacts and other seasonal factors. Despite a planned 4.5% to 2.5% reduction in overall capacity for 2024, JetBlue remains committed to growing unit revenue and returning to operating profitability. On October 21st, a China Southern Airlines Boeing 787-9 operating as flight CZ3534 from Shanghai Hongqiao International Airport SHA to Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport CAN encountered a tailstrike incident during landing, which is our next focus for this episode. This resulted in considerable damage to the aircraft's lower rear fuselage and cargo compartment, confirmed by ground crew inspections. The tailstrike incident occurred after a rough landing that passengers described as a hard impact, causing the aircraft to bounce upon initial runway contact. The aircraft, registered as B-1243 and delivered to China Southern Airlines in May 2018, has been in service for 6 years and 5 months. Preliminary information indicates the tailstrike occurred during a no-guidance manual landing requested by the co-pilot as a practice in favorable weather conditions in Guangzhou. The supervising instructor approved this, and the co-pilot disengaged the autopilot, maintaining stable flight parameters during approach. However, as the aircraft neared the runway, its descent rate unexpectedly increased. The instructor attempted corrective adjustments, but the aircraft continued to descend abruptly. On the initial touchdown, it bounced roughly 3 feet off the runway, leading to the subsequent tail impact on the second contact with the ground. Following the landing, the flight crew received a tailstrike alert on the aircraft's display system. Inspections confirmed significant damage, including visible scrapes, a tear on the lower fuselage skin, and multiple fractures within the cargo compartment structure. The aircraft has been grounded since the incident, with all further flights suspended until repairs can be completed. Notably, the tailstrike occurred at China Southern's main base in Guangzhou, which is expected to expedite repair logistics. Aviation professionals highlight that tailstrikes where an aircraft's tail contacts the ground pose serious structural risks and can arise from factors like excessive pitch, improper speed, or mistrimmed stabilizers. To prevent these incidents, pilots rely on correct trim settings, careful speed management, and stabilized approaches, with additional support from advanced onboard systems that provide tailstrike warnings. China Southern Airlines has not yet officially confirmed details of the incident. When contacted, staff at Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport were unable to offer specific information, and China Southern's customer service noted the confirmed details would typically be published on the airline's website. Passenger accounts described the landing as intense, with one traveler likening the initial impact to hitting cement, followed by a brief sensation of weightlessness before a secondary smoother landing. Fortunately, all passenger and crew were unharmed. The Civil Aviation Administration of China, CAAC, has acknowledged the incident and is initiating a follow-up investigation in line with standard procedures. Although rare, tailstrikes serve as a reminder of the precision required during manual landings, especially with long-bodied aircraft. Similar incidents have occurred in China's aviation history, including a notable 2020 tailstrike involving a Shanghai Airlines Boeing 737-800 that caused substantial fuselage damage. The full extent of the damage to the China Southern Boeing 787-9 is under assessment, and the aircraft will remain grounded until it can undergo all necessary repairs to ensure a safe return to service. Next, let's talk about Air France's new proposal for a multi-million-dollar 6,000 square feet lounge in Newark Liberty International Airport. Air France, a member of the SkyTeam Alliance, has submitted an application to open its 7th U.S. lounge at Newark Liberty International Airport, EWR. According to documents filed with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the proposed lounge, set to be located in Terminal B3, would span 6,129 square feet. Air France seeks a new 7-year lease with options for 3 additional 1-year extensions, amounting to an approximate $13.4 million over the lease term. Additionally, the airline plans a minimum investment of $3 million to refurbish the lounge space. This expansion follows Air France's return to Newark in 2022 after a decade with daily flights to Paris Charles de Gaulle on an Airbus A350. The airline currently operates 6 other lounges in the U.S., including spaces at JFK, New York, Boston Logan, Los Angeles, Houston's George Bush Intercontinental, Washington Dulles, and San Francisco. Notably, JFK remains the primary departure hub for Air France and codeshare partner Delta for flights to Paris, yet Newark's lack of a dedicated lounge for Air France's premium passengers has made this expansion timely. This new lounge will likely provide exclusive amenities for premium travelers, but Air France's lounges also partner with third-party providers like Priority Pass to offer access during non-peak hours. The Port Authority's agenda also revealed lease updates for 2 additional lounges at Newark's Terminal B. British Airways has agreed to a new lease for its existing 8,200 square foot Galleries lounge near gates B50 and 58, totaling approximately $13.2 million for the initial lease term. Meanwhile, La Compagnie, an all-business class carrier, is seeking a new lease for its 4,946 square foot lounge, with plans to invest at least $1.9 million in refurbishments. This lease is expected to commence on December 1st, 2024, following an expired lease in June. La Compagnie is currently on a month-to-month arrangement because of this. The new lounge project coincide with the Port Authority's ambitious vision plan for EWR, which includes constructing a modernized international terminal to replace Terminal B, built in 1973 with an initial capacity of 6.8 million passengers. By 2023, Terminal B handled over 12 million passengers, highlighting the need for infrastructure improvements to meet rising demands. The vision plan aims to bring Terminal B in line with the standards of Terminal A, which recently underwent a major rebuild, ultimately transforming Newark's capabilities to serve international travelers. Finally, let's talk about Etihad's expansion and changes to its North American routes. Etihad Airways, the national carrier of the UAE, has commenced operations of its Airbus A350-1000 on the route from Abu Dhabi to Toronto, replacing the previously used Boeing's 777-300ER. This strategic change was marked by the arrival of the first A350 flight at Toronto Pearson International Airport on October 27, 2024, with the aircraft departing Abu Dhabi at 03:07 and landing in Toronto at 08:39 local time. This enhancement reflects Etihad's commitment to upgrading its services between UAE and Canada, aiming to provide passengers with a world-class travel experience characterized by the A350's advanced design and the airline's modern cabin interiors. Currently, Etihad's fleet includes 5 A350-1000 aircraft, each configured with 371 seats, 44 in business, 45 in premium economy, and 282 in an economy class. The airline operates daily flights on this route with the following schedule. Flight EY0021 departs Abu Dhabi at 02:35 and arrives in Toronto at 08:15, while flight EY0022 returns to Abu Dhabi at 14:20, arriving the next day at 12:10. In addition to the Toronto service, Etihad will enhance its Abu Dhabi-Boston route, increasing flight frequency from 4 weekly to daily starting November 1st, it started on November 1st, 2024. This expansion offers greater flexibility for travelers, with flight EY0007 departing Abu Dhabi at 09:30 and arriving in Boston at 14:40, and flight EY0008 departing Boston at 16:10 and arriving in Abu Dhabi the next day at 13:05. This service, launched in March 2024, responds to significant demand from both corporate and leisure travelers. Passengers traveling to the U.S. can also benefit from the new U.S. Customs and Border Protection pre-clearance available at Etihad's hub in Abu Dhabi, facilitating a smoother immigration process. Etihad Airways' Chief Revenue and Commercial Officer, Eric Day, emphasized the demand for the Boston and Toronto routes, noting that the increased capacity offers more options for North American travelers heading to the UAE and other destinations in the Gulf region and Indian subcontinent. The airline's expansion aligns with its 2024 growth strategy, which will be further bolstered by the announcement of a new destination later this month. Etihad now operates up to 42 weekly flights from the UAE to North America, with additional routes including 2 daily flights to New York JFK using the Airbus A380 and Boeing 787-9, as well as daily services to Chicago O'Hare, Washington Dulles, Toronto Pearson, and Boston Logan. Since launching its flights to the U.S. in October 2006, beginning with New York, Etihad has significantly expanded its network. Currently, the airline serves 76 passenger destinations, demonstrating its growth since its inaugural flight in 2003. In September, Etihad carried 1.6 million passengers, representing a 28.5% increase year over year. By mid-October, the airline had transported 13.6 million passengers year to date, marking a 35% increase compared to the same period in 2023, supported by a fleet expansion from 68 destinations. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and do make sure to support the Aviation Files however you can. And don't forget to check out my Instagram at the Aviation Files for more fun and exciting aviation news. Until next time.